host for MotorWeek, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to MotorWeek. We're glad to have you with us. Big, graceful, race-bred Bentleys are certainly nothing new. Since the early 20s, they've earned the company 6 Le Mans wins and the prestige that goes along with them. Indeed, super luxurious Bentley four-doors have basked in the limelight for decades now. But for 2010, Bentley has built a very special coupe and revived the Supersports name to go with it. So we jumped at the chance to see just how super it really is. The 2010 Bentley Continental Supersports silhouette is little change from its less potent Continental stablemates. They all share a 108.1-inch wheelbase and a 189.1-inch overall length. But racy styling cues help this fastest Bentley ever stand out. A central letterbox intake and 2 vertical apertures in the front fascia feed 10% more air through the Supersports radiator and intercoolers. All of the mesh on the front end, from the intakes to the familiar Continental grille to the twin heat extractors in the hood, is finished in the same smoked steel as the headlight bezels, 20-inch spoke alloy wheels, and rocker panel trim. Classic big coupe good looks have worked just fine for the Continental so far, and the Supersports is no exception. Well-drawn body lines sweep over wider rear fender flares, which accommodate a 2-inch wider rear track. From behind, the Supersports is distinguished by smoked taillights and larger diameter exhaust outlets set in a narrow black surround. The overall effect is a very menacing Bentley. For motivation, the Supersports relies on the same 6-liter twin-turbo W12 that's been under the Continental's hood since its debut in 2004. But this time around, there's 621 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque on tap. That's a bump of 21 horses and 37 pound-feet over the Continental GT Speed, and a leap of 69 horsepower and 111 pound-feet over the Continental GT. The heavily revised ZF 6-speed quick-shift automatic with wheel-mounted paddle shifters is the only available transmission, and it cuts fuel and ignition between gear changes for lightning-quick shifts. In sport mode, they're almost telepathic. The extra power hauls a car featuring lightweight wheels, carbon ceramic brakes, revised aluminum suspension components, and no rear seats. All told, the Supersports weighs in at 4,939 pounds, 243 pounds lighter than the GT Speed. At the track, it was a velvet sledgehammer. Power builds up fast and smooth, and its baritone around-town burble gave way to a primal roar at wide-open throttle. Our Supersports blaze from a standstill to 60 in 3.9 seconds. That's 0.8 quicker than the GT. And through the quarter mile in 12.3 seconds at 115 miles per hour. Figures that put it in the same league as much more Spartan supercars. Through the slalom, the all-wheel drive Supersports revised dampers and anti-roll bars, coupled with its new 40-60 rear bias torque split, made for quick neutral responses in corners. Steering has been retuned too, and we found it to be quick and direct, but with little feedback. Being ham-fisted results in understeer, while being overzealous with the gas tipped the Supersports over into power oversteer. For being as big and heavy as it is, however, the Supersports is very agile with minimal body roll even in high-speed maneuvers. Those big carbon ceramic brakes snapped it all to a dead halt from 60 in a very impressive average of 109 feet. The pedal is soft, but travel is short, and stops were stable and fade-free. For all the dynamic gains on the track, the Supersports loses a little refinement on the road. The ride is somewhat stiffer, but nothing we couldn't put up with. Bentley exclusive manually adjustable Sparco sport seats were noticeably thin on padding, but generously trimmed in leather and diamond pattern Alcantara, and still very comfortable. The dash largely carries over from the regular Continental, with a substantial center stack and 2 wings, in the Supersports case trimmed in leather and faced in carbon fiber. The biggest difference from the driver's seat is the leather 3-spoke steering wheel. And as usual, Bentley has the details perfect, from the Breitling clock and organ stop vent controls to the drilled alloy sports pedals. Now, there's only room for 2, but they will enjoy standard satellite navigation, front and side curtain airbags, and 10 speakers sound. As you might surmise, government fuel economy ratings are low, 12 city, 19 highway. Our test loop returned 13.9 miles per gallon on premium gas. But Bentley has become eco-minded. By summer, the Supersports will be the first Bentley that runs on E85. And by 2012, the entire lineup will be flex fuel capable. Available now in very limited numbers, the Supersport starts at $272,195, including a $2,600 gas guzzler tax. The 2010 Bentley Continental Supersports delivers such astounding performance that the slight ride penalty is easily overlooked. It's more like its famous racer namesakes than any road-going Bentley ever built, and is indeed a fitting tribute to those proud winged bee warriors.